Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm being spontaneous. For those of you who've been following my daily spiritual espresso, I write a daily blog. You know that I've had a sinus virus. You can probably hear it in the sound of my voice, but I'm feeling so much better, and I'm so happy to share with you on this beautiful Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And I have to say that Martin Luther King Jr., Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., is certainly one of my heroes. I have definitely studied him in my life, and I have had the great good fortune to be taught by one of his teachers, Reverend James Lawson. When I lived in Los Angeles for several years, I studied with James Lawson, and I studied the practice of nonviolence. I feel very fortunate to have had all those teachings from Reverend Dr. Lawson. And one of the things I would like to share with you, I also wrote a bit about in my blog today, but I'm going to say something that I really got directly from Dr. King. And he has so many beautiful speeches. I love his speeches. And one of them is a Loving Our Enemies speech. And in my Finding Freedom class, in my year-long Masterful Living course, which is well underway for 2017, we take a look at Dr. King's beautiful speech. And I encourage everyone in the class to listen to it, to study it, to read it, to really become familiar with it. It's so beautiful, it's so inspiring, and many, many people have told me over the years that listening to the Loving Our Enemies speech has been one of the best things ever for them, that it literally has changed their life in many ways. So one of the tips from that is Dr. King talks about how when we hate someone, when we're the hater, it changes us, but it doesn't change the enemy. But when we can be the lover, then we change not only ourselves, but we can also change and transform and redeem our enemies, which are really only those people who seem to hate and despise us. And right now in the United States, there's a lot of divisiveness. And of course, all over the world, we're seeing outbreaks of hatred. And the thing for us to remember is to love our enemies. And in our day-to-day experiences of relating to people, we'll often get into situations where the ego takes offense, and the ego wants to attack and blame and shame and all of that. And it's really gnarly business. And we've all had these experiences where the temptation is so strong to attack, but it's not helpful. And we know it, and we don't really wish to go there. But the ego is saying, oh yes, I'm going to hold that against them forever. I'm going to hold that grudge forever. I'm never going to forget this. I'm always going to remember this. So if you have one of those instances going on ever in your history, one thing will probably happen is, and this is what Dr. King talks about in his Loving Our Enemies speech, or sermon, he talks about the day will come when you will have an opportunity to, more than likely, to reject or embrace that person. And they may need your help. And if you're the one that you have done something to someone, maybe someday you will need their help. You know, what goes around comes around. And so the thing is if someone that you have really held a grudge against ever comes to you and needs your help, there's a great moment right there to open your heart and to really walk the talk and live the love. Don't pass it by. You will redeem yourself by not passing it by, and being willing to extend the love might come with any number of circumstances where someone who you have been angry with, maybe you've hated them and despised them, will come to you in some way, shape, or form and ask for your help. They won't ask for your forgiveness, but they'll ask for your help. And you can either extend compassion or hold on to your grudge. And so I'll quote to you my favorite lesson from the 365 workbook, A Course in Miracles workbook. It's lesson 68, which is simply love holds no grievances. And in there, it says that those who forgive will come to remember themselves as their true identity, their spiritual identity. And those who do not forgive will not come to remember themselves. So forgiveness is the key to all spiritual awakening. It is the number one key. Next to willingness, it's the willingness to forgive. So the willingness to forgive is the very, very, very best tool we have for our spiritual healing on all levels, mental levels, emotional levels, physical levels. Willingness to forgive. So loving our enemies is about the willingness to forgive and to extend compassion and kindness. And so I invite you to just think for a moment right now, is there someone you've been holding a grudge against? Who comes to mind? What's the name? What's the face? What's the memory that comes to mind? And would you be willing to forgive them right now? Now, I've been teaching forgiveness for 17 years, so I'm an expert. And I've worked with a lot of people who will come to me and say, Jennifer, I have forgiven this so many times, but I just don't know why. I can't seem to get over it. And so that's why I created my How to Get Over It Forgiveness workshop, because there is a clear path to getting over it. There is a clear path to forgiveness, and I'd like you to know what it is, so not only you can use it, but you can teach it to others, and that's a wonderful thing. So that's why my free class on jenniferhadley.com is How to Get Over It. It's a free forgiveness workshop. I invite you to download it, grab it, get some friends together, start this year with some forgiveness. No more grudge holding. Love holds no grievances. We are love. We're going to teach only love this year, so we've got to get rid of those grievances. Let's do it together. It's really wonderful when you can do that forgiveness workshop with a friend, a loved one. You can pause the audio, you can go through the steps, watch the video, print out the different pieces there, do the work. It takes a few hours if you really want to do it carefully, and you'll get so much out of it. Get a potluck supper going, have some fun with friends, and really clear out the grievances for yourself. And isn't that a wonderful gift that we can give to Dr. King on his birthday? Is our commitment, our willingness to forgive. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. I sure do love you. I love being able to connect with you like this spontaneously. And one of the things you can do is in the comments for this video, if you have a topic that you would like me to address in a future Facebook Live, just let me know, because gosh almighty, I'd love to talk about that. And if I don't talk about it on a Facebook Live, I can talk about it in my radio show. Love to have your ideas for episodes of the radio show too. So check all that out and get that free forgiveness workshop, and love your neighbors. Like I love you. Thank you.